Hey guys, it's Sam. I'm just gonna do BJD Addicts prompt number 39 here really quick. It's pretty much late here and pretty much everybody else is asleep, and I'm not because I'm a night owl. But, I'm just gonna do this prompt really quick. It's about, face-up tips and tricks, and, I just thought it would be pretty fun to do this one right away just because I like doing my own face-ups, and I'm now starting to take commissions for them, and I don't know, I just find it really, really fun, really creative outlet in this hobby, and so I want to be able to help other people that want to do these too. So anyway, I had already put down on my DeviantArt, if you guys follow me there, I ended up putting down a list in my, comparison of my face-ups I did way back when, like my very first one, and then what I'm doing now, 6 months later. And it was quite a change, actually. But I put up there, a thing of, do's and don'ts and what I do and, tips and tricks for that. But I just figured I'd kind of restate it here. So anyway, the first things is that my favorite products that I use and favorite things that I use for my face-ups. One of them is an actual supply, and the other one is a tool. My favorite piece of supplies that I use are my pastels, which are these ones. And I have them labeled because I have 2 boxes of them. I got these for $5 each, $5 per pastel stick, and that's why I only have a few of them. But they're little pastel sticks. There you go. And I have a box of reddish colored ones, which have they're peach, pink, and red. And then I have another box which I keep all my natural tones in, which are I have black, brown, and a skin tone peachy color. The other peach is more like a pinkish peach color, so it's a light pink. But those are my favorite because they're super high quality. I don't think I'll run out anytime soon considering they're huge sticks, and I use this one all the time, and I think I've done maybe at least 20 face-ups with this. And I think I've only gone down in this stick by a millimeter. I don't use a lot. So anyway, those are my favorite pastels that I own. And then for tools, my brushes. And yeah, I have a lot of brushes. Sorry, my computer is sitting on my lap and I'm sitting in my bed right now. But these are all of my brushes and all my tools. It's pretty crazy, all the ones I own. But I know a lot of people tend to have a lot of them. So my favorite ones by far would have to be this huge angled brush. And I have it I use this a lot for the cheek area right here, mid, upper cheek, or lower cheek, I meant. And I use that a lot because it's the angle of it usually gets really well into the cheekbones, and so I just find that one really helpful. And then my other one that I like is my just basic rounded, pretty average brush. I like this one a lot for lips because it's really soft and can get into the creases inside. And then let's see. I like this one a lot for our eyebrows and eye makeup. And then this one is the one that I use for the tips of the eyebrows or whatever. And then for gloss, I use my big basic brush. It pretty much does the job. And then if I need to put eyeliner on with paint, because usually I use watercolor pencils, but the inner eye I use paint. And then I use just just a tiny basic brush. I have like 4 of those, 5 of those. 5 of like the exact same size. So yeah, I just kind of hoard brushes. I ended up getting a lot of these in like packs. And they were like $5 for like 4 to 6 brushes depending on the pack. So they were really cheap. I just found them at my like local Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever I got them. And they work really well. So, and then I also have my X-Acto knife in here, which I use to get a lot of like if I got dust or lint or just anything on the Faceup after sealing, I'll like use that to get it off. And then it's really helpful when removing Faceups too. And my retractable eraser, which is good for like fine details and stuff like that. So, and then probably my last favorite brush is my gigantic makeup brush. It's like $1 at Target, and it's like a regular makeup brush. And I ended up getting that one just because, I don't know, it's good for like blowing away extra pastel, or if I was erasing something, you can erase your shavings off with it. And it pretty much blends everything too, so it makes everything look really nice. But yeah, so those are my favorite like pieces that I use. Okay, and then I know that one of the points of this topic was also to talk about like tips or hints that you do that could help other people. And I will have to say that I know a lot of people are like, how do people actually do this? Or like, I don't know how people actually end up doing this. But I have a big problem with getting pastel and other stuff on the inside of the head when I'm doing face-ups. And most of the time it's because it falls through the eyes. Like if I use black pastel around the eyes, it'll fall through. And so my little tip for you guys is take a piece of masking tape and tape it to the inside of the eye. And then all the pastel that like falls through there will get stuck on there, and then you can just remove it and you'll have a clean head on the inside. So that's super nice. It's what I always do whenever I'm doing eye makeup. And I don't know, it's just, I don't know if I've really heard of people talking about doing that very often, but I just find it really helpful. I know a lot of people tend to not have that problem, and I really don't know how, but that's one thing I totally would like to know. But if you have that problem, then there you go. There's a little solution for you. And then for my DA, I ended up having like my 5 tips of whatever that I do that might help you. So my 5 tips are, 1 is wait for your sealant to dry. And when you think it's dry and you touch it and it seems dry, let it dry for even longer. Because honestly, like, I'll think that it's dry, and then whenever I try to put stuff onto the next layer, it just gunks it all up and it looks horrible. So pretty much just make sure that it's really, really dry. Also, if you're using like a white colored pencil, like I use it all the time, if you try to use white colored pencil on something that's not totally, totally dry, it'll just turn up as like an opaque, little bit lighter color of the color you ended up putting it on. So it like doesn't show up at all, and it looks ridiculous. So make sure you wait for your sealant to dry. Then have good, or at least semi-decent, supplies and tools. And I'm not telling you to like go out and buy like $500 worth of supplies on your first face up and get all these super high quality stuff that like an artist in a museum would use. I'm not telling you to get that. It's just, from my experience, it's kind of along the lines of BJDs, depending on how you look at it. You tend to get what you pay for. And so, like, if you get pastels from, like I've gotten these Walmart brand pastels, like, just basic ones, and I found out that they have a ton of, like, fillers in them, so it's very hard to get, like, a really rich color, and it takes so many layers, and even after, like, 5 layers of the same color, you still end up with, like, a gray instead of a black or something. So try to go for a little bit higher quality stuff, especially when it comes to like pastels. And but you don't need to go overboard. And then when it comes to brushes, just get regular paint brushes. They're fine. Along with paintbrushes, like me, tend to have a brush for everything. Have a brush that you use for eyeshadow. Have a brush that you use for lips. Have a brush you use for eyebrows. Just the more brushes you have for certain things, usually the better it tends to turn out, and you get your face-ups tend to look a little bit more, well, I don't know how to really put it, uniform, I guess. I don't know. I find that it helps to have like my flat brushes are for my eyes, my angled brushes are for certain things, stuff like that. So if you have different brushes for different things, it really helps you. And then most of the time, you don't really even need just brushes. Cotton balls and cotton swabs are your best friends. They help me all the time. I use cotton balls for like cheeks all the time, and like for the base color of the eye, and then I use cotton swabs all the time for like mostly eye makeup because it really impacts the color and makes it super intense. It's like the best thing for making an intense color. And then my last little tip is when you're working on a face up, and this happens to me all the time, I'll put like blush on or something and then seal it thinking it looks really good and I'm really proud of it. And then the next moment that I come back, it looks like a clown or like a box of Crayola crayons attacked their face. And so pretty much sometimes when you're working on it and you don't feel like you're kind of iffy on it, take a step back or ask somebody else and kind of figure out if it's too little or too much. Because, I don't know, I know a lot of people know, like the saying, like, a little bit goes a long way, or like stuff like that. And so, kind of take that to heart when it comes to face-ups, and just know, don't overdo it, because then it tends to look pretty weird depending on the look you're going for. Especially if you're trying to go for something natural. So those are my little face-up tips and tricks and rambles about stuff like that. If you want to see more of my face-up stuff, click the link at the bottom. I'll put that in there. I'll also put my little shameless self-promotion of my face-up shop on Facebook. Ironically, on Facebook. So yeah, those are all my stuff. And I hope to see all of your guys' prompts because I will be looking for other tips and tricks because I need them really bad. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys later, and I hope you have a good rest of the week.